So here are a couple of things that you'll need if you want to take part in the woolly paper chain party. Now, this is the pattern, and you can see that on Etsy. So all you need is, I've got Herdwick sock yarn here, but you could use North Ronaldsay, no, this is Badger Face, or any sort of, what have I got else? Len, you can use that. What else have I got? You could use some sort of handspun, Jacobs, or maybe there's a British merino sheep that you like. Basically anything, and if you run out of wool, just use whatever you've got in the fridge, not in the fridge. Just use whatever you got hanging about, because it's just meant to be a bit of fun, isn't it? And we've all got a stash to bust, I'm sure, if you're anything like me. Right, so there we go. I've got a couple of needles. This is a 4mm. Before we get started, I'll say a little bit about the stitches I've decided to use. So this is moss or seed stitch. You can see the texture, it's really nice, and it's just flat, so it really holds the shape. This is garter stitch. It's just knit rows in the flat, and that's keeps it shaped nicely as well. These two, I mean, they do look lovely, so if you want a sort of thin effect, this is just stocking stitch, which is knit row, purl row, and this one's just eye of partridge, and that's quite a nice effect. If you don't use it for this, you can always use it for jewellery. Right, I'm going to do a long tail cast on, and I'll just figure out how much I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then do a slip knot. That clicking can't be good, can it? Right, 6 stitches. The first row I do is a setup row. I'm just going to knit all of these stitches that we've just cast on. You might notice this is a UK style of knitting, it's not continental. This is a knit one, purl one row, and the next one will be a purl one, knit one row. So well done if you've got this far. Now I'm going to do the finishing. So it might be a little bit tricky to show you a 3 needle bind off, but I'm going to give it a whirl. So we tuck this strip into here, just like you do when you're doing a normal paper chain. There you go. And I'm just gonna grab the other needle that I'm using, which is a smaller needle. I'm gonna go for something maybe a 2mm, just because it'll be easier to pick up the stitches. Pick up the stitches that you can see here. Maybe you can see the one of the little legs on the, can you see the V there? There's a little V, and you can, I've picked up the first stitch and then I'm picking up all the little legs on the right hand side of that. There we go. So I've got some stitches that you can see there. And actually I should have done that with the bigger needle, but you can see the loops are still there, she says. Right, I'll just pick those up again. You can see it's a lot easier with a smaller needle. There we go. But you know, this wool's really hardy, so that's great. And make sure it's not twisted, unless you want to do it twisted to kind of look cool. And what I'm going to do is just slip this needle into there, and then into, it's easier if you do it into the back, and then wrap it around the small needle and cast off. You've still got one stitch on there, and then you go through the first needle stitch and that one, and you're pulling round and you're pulling this wool just through the back stitch and then through the next stitch, and then you're casting off here. So you're starting to create a seam. So through the front stitch, back stitch, wrap around. Oh, they both came off, but that's okay. You can always just do that if that happens. And then cast, we'll try not to lose those that are on the left hand stitch. Stay on there and cast off that one, okay. And then again through the front, through the back, wrap around the back, and then the front, and then cast off. And keep it fairly loose, because you don't want it to be too tight at the end. You want it to sort of be a similar width, so that it doesn't pull in, so that it looks nice and flat, and just, it's just a nice finish. Okay. Come on, you can do it, Alex. Okay, if at this point you're thinking, oh, I can't do that, what a faff. Easy. Get a needle and thread, put the ends together, having cast off the end in the normal way, and just sew them together, because sometimes life's too short. This, I do like this way, because I just need my needles. I don't need to go rooting around for a tapestry needle or threading the needle. So, and it's actually a lot harder doing it behind a camera than actually having it right in front of me, so it's not as hard as it looks. Okay. Oh, my hands are a bit cold. I need to go and put the fire on, I think. Right, okay. Oh god. So we found out that Herdwick wool, even when it's 4-ply, is really strong and hard to tie off. There you go. Yeah. That's not really the pattern I was doing, but it's fine. That's like a grey section. And look at that. Look at the texture on that lovely Herdwick. It's a little bit hairy, but it's really nice and a lot softer than I thought, because I've got some Aran weight that's a little bit scratchy, but this sock weight, it's quite soft. Or maybe the sheep this year are a bit softer. There. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.